Okay, we are at the northwest corner of the main structure. Here's the catwalk, the breezeway, self-closing gate going to the swimming pool. Moving on around. This is our shop, our satellite garage, no GFCI, open cell, spray foam insulation, insufficient surface access to the breaker box. Moving along. Satellite dish should not be installed directly to the roof covering. Can I get a zoom on this? I was wondering if I could do that. But anyway, then the siding from the fireplace chimney is in direct contact with the roof and it's absorbing water. And then if we follow our roof line up here, what we've got is box fans and wind turbines. All right, so we've got two different types of attic exhaust system, and you're not supposed to mix systems. To what end? I mean, we can have some debate, but we're not supposed to. Coming on along, the heater's not working today. Got to reach across your equipment to get to your controls. Looks like we have some leaks down there and the piping's not labeled. That's not why we're here. We're right around here. We're coming along. This is the west side of the structure. House faces south. And right here we got a vertical crack running through our brickwork right here at that corner. That corner, hillbilly home inspection. Then we come over here a little farther around our refrigerant piping right here. There's a little bit of crack running right through the brick right in there. Okay, we do not have a slip joint for our electric conduit coming into our electric meter, and our electric meter is not sealed on three sides, the sides and the top, to prevent water from getting in. We've only got one grounding rod, and today we would have two. Okay. Trees should not be closer to the structure than 25 feet to allow for root growth and branch growth. Moving on along. Then our stretcher bricks. All right, our stretcher bricks, we got some separation in our stretcher bricks right there, and when we move around here, we do not have weep holes over our lintels. I got a little speech about lintels needing weep holes and the importance of weep holes and the absence of weep holes. And but all of that is, I had that conversation in person with my client, and I still might have it. Coming over here on our cornice, this cornice over the small garage, the smallest garage. So this small garage, main garage. Okay, but we got, let's get us get a little bit of flash, but some of our edge flashing right there. Some of our edge flashing right there is loose from the cornice. How about that? Then our air conditioning is leaking. Our rain gutter butt in is too close to the brickwork. We do not have kick out flashing. And then we go up above that a little bit. We go up on that way. We can see the wood rot in our trim board across there. That's concrete board. That's what it does. Rain gutters, that's what it does when it gets wet. That's why you're not supposed to be touching the roof. That's why it's not supposed to touch the ground. That's why we take care of it. That's why we don't want the rain gutter drip edge to go behind the rain gutter. We want it to go over the back of the rain gutter. All those reasons, because this is what that wood does. Okay, moving on along. This vent right here, that's to the clothes dryer. That hasn't been legal in quite some time. All right, that means this roof is quite some time old. All right, but that's the wrong type of termination point for our laundry. Then we got our stretcher bricks that have the crack, the separation of the mortar going across there. Then these stretcher bricks, of course, the medium garage, the main garage. Okay, we got some separation right along there. Rain gutters discharging water too close to the house. Where do you think the water's going to go? Nowhere. Okay. Moving on along. And we kind of get off in here a little bit. And we'll do this. Where do termites live? In the ground. Oh. Well, they eat dead wood. Oh. What's wood mulch? Dead wood on the ground next to your house. It's called a clue. Our trees shouldn't be touching. That's why our trees shouldn't be so close to the house. Because we're touching the walls, touching the roof, and we're tearing stuff up. Also, these roots, you're supposed to have an even, consistent amount of moisture that goes through around the foundation so that it all moves at the same time. We're on expansive clay soil. There goes a rabbit. Okay. Well, these trees will rob moisture from your foundation. And then when these trees grow, they move and they'll push your foundation around. I sure would like to have gotten a picture of that rabbit. Wood mulch. Your electric receptacle outlets. Okay. These are weather resistant, but they should be in-use covers, so you can plug in your Christmas lights. You can plug in your Christmas lights and then close the cover. As it is, if you got Christmas lights, Halloween decorations, maybe a fountain, I don't know, a Buddha statue, maybe you want to light up, I don't know, but you should be able to close the cover. Okay. You just should. A lot of these windows are fogging. You do not lose any efficiency. A lot of people say that, but you don't. You don't lose any security. So they're ugly. And the Texas Real Estate Commission says that the seals are broken and that's a deficiency. They got rabbits and monarch butterflies. Okay. They're taking care of their trees. That's what you're hearing. This is attractive. It's a beautiful house, I admit. Okay, but look at the roof. Look at the roof covering. Water comes off of each one of these drainage planes and follows it. So follow the water. So you got all the water coming off of this over here, and you got all the water coming off of that over there, and then you got all the water coming off of this over here, and all the water's making it over here into this what's known as a dead valley. And then this valley has to hold the water, has to handle the water to make it around this corner. All right, this is a potential for water leakage. All roofs leak, all walls leak. Homeownership 101. I get that. We don't know where it will leak from. I can't promise you that it's going to leak there. But I can tell you that that has a high potential, a high probability. Okay, that's where the devil hides, is in the details. Moving on along, our exterior light fixtures should be sealed around their bases to help prevent moisture from getting into the brickwork. Whole house communication systems are beyond the scope of this inspection. Ring doorbell systems are beyond the scope of this inspection. We should have an in-use cover right there. We should. We already talked about wood mulch, right? Moving on around. Fogging windows, fogging windows, fogging windows, fogging windows. Most of the windows are fogging. Trees too close, wood mulch. Rain gutter discharging directly onto the roof covering. I tried to deliver enough video about the roof so that you'd have a pretty good idea about it, but my camera kept overheating and turning off, and I had no indication that that's what had happened. And I went back and re-shot some video. I hope I got enough. I think I got enough to tell you about the roof, though. I was pretty good about documenting that. This gate is self-closing. It's supposed to, because we have a swimming pool over there for the safety of the swimming pool. This gate is self-closing with a spring on it, and it swings out, and it should, and that's a good thing. But this gate, okay, it stays open. Can you get to the pool from here? Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, false alarm. And it wasn't just this gate I was talking about. It was another video where I might be talking about the gate not being self-closing. And of course I'd be wrong about that. Or maybe I was just waiting for this opportunity and I discovered that I was wrong before, you know, I opened my trap. Maybe. Okay, most insurance companies are going to be delighted that you took that diving board out. This happens about 5 times a year, but to 5 real, usually with boys, you know, little teenage boys, you know, just discovering their new testosterone levels and stuff, and they're diving, and you know, it doesn't say deep forever, it's shallow water. It's a perfect combination for, it could do this for quadriplegics, you know, because you dive farther than the shallow water. So I had to I'd probably keep the diving board. I'm a fool. But having said that, you know, I'm telling you that it's a good idea if you took it out. And these plastic covers, they're only good for about 2 or 3 years. All right? They're only good for about 3 years. Otherwise, somebody's stepping in it and it's breaking, and you get ankle broken and the plastic cuts you, you got to get stitches, and it's a homeowner's insurance thing. It's just no. And then coming over here, this one tells me that we got an automatic filler. And most automatic fillers no longer meet the requirements. And I'm not opening it up. I wasn't contracted to do the swimming pool inspection. Somebody else has been contracted to do the swimming pool inspection, and so I'll let somebody else speak to that. It's a PebbleTech surface. The mastic sealer looks like it's in pretty good shape. Okay, let it alone, bud. Let it alone. I couldn't get that. Oh, see these air bubbles? I'm not gonna let it alone. You got air bubbles coming out like that, it means you got a leak in your pump equipment. Usually it's on the suction side, it's sucking air from outside. If it was on the pressure side, the water would be going out on the ground somewhere. But we're sucking air into the system, and it's coming out and it's manifesting as those little bubbles. We got a leak. And there's water around the pump equipment, if you remember that. Coming around here, this is the primary bedroom. This is the bay windows. And we got a big opening right here. Got a big opening here. And speaking of big openings, we got several big openings. I'm going to try and find a good place. I'm going to go around the back to talk about them. But this is on both structures. I say both structures, but they are joined by a catwalk. So according to the Structural Pest Control Board, this is one structure. They're sharing a roof line. And I'm not doing a termite inspection, but that's kind of the way I structure my deals. Okay, our brick overhang over here, it's not supposed to overhang more than 1/3 of the width of the brick. Okay, that's some empty room right here. That's kind of neat. But yeah, we got a kind of a big gap right there. Look at that. Okay. And we got a picture of that. Okay. And our screens look a little worse for wear. Okay, there's a hail ding right there. Look at all this hail damage. And that's a fogging window. That's another fogging window. Okay. We going wrong? Trees too close. Roots robbing water, roots moving foundation, branches wrecking your roof. We've got a little another fogging window. We got a little lizard right there. I don't know if, I wish I could do a, man, if I could do a zoom. I can't do as, okay, 1x. Anyway, it is what it is. Shade is beyond the scope. Moving on along. No weep holes, no weep holes, no weep holes, no weep holes, no weep holes. In fact, we don't even have much in the way of soffit vents over here. It's kind of interesting how this is all going together. No ventilation for here to there. No ventilation on that attic because it has spray foam insulation, open cell spray foam insulation. We got a gas port on our patio. All right, check with the manufacturer to see if it's okay to, put a grill out here like that. This is our little cabana over here, beyond the scope. But I got my nose in it. Fireplace doesn't work. Not that much. My client was asking me about some splittering in the wood. I guess he's talking about that. I thought he was talking about checking. Then our boards, our band boards aren't joined real close on the corners. So we got some gaps right there. Now around the house in various locations, we have control joints or expansion joints. Call it what you will. And you can't have this much brick without having a control joint. Otherwise it'll make its own like it has in a couple other places. So, but this should have been sealed with mastic sealer. Not just here, but on the that wall over there and that wall over there, some more walls. We're gonna find some more walls. So this is supposed to have a self-closing spring on it. So this spring is out of adjustment. Okay, I get something to complain about. Rain gutters discharging too close to the structure. And then I really didn't get, okay, that's the gas going to the fireplace. This is our fireplace vent. Look at you. It says up. Okay, so we got upright. Along. This siding is supposed to be 6 inches off of the ground. All right, even though it's too, it'd be okay for brick. Still too short for brick. Still high soil for brick. But if that was brick, I wouldn't be talking like I'm talking. Okay, I can see some shiny shingles. There's a damaged shingle up there. There's a damaged shingle right there. Okay. Yeah, we get on around. Now we're moving around the north side of the satellite garage. And right here we got some high soil. Right here we got some high soil, and this is another control joint that's open. We have several of them. Rain gutters too close. Some of our grading and drainage, our swale around the outbuilding could have been better. We got some level soil over here. We got some surface drains. Trees too close for comfort. Got a little erosion along here. See, this newer building, we have weep holes over our fenestrations.